last night. Does this enhance their chances of winning the Champions League, Husam?
No, because you can't enhance zero. It's impossible for you to enhance zero. You're at 0% chance. I think Aston Villa have a bigger chance of winning the Champions League than Arsenal. Oh my god. Oh my god, what the hell? Did Declan Rice just score the free kick? It's not beyond the realms of possibility Aston Villa beating Liverpool. So what? As a Liverpool fan in the quarterfinal, if we get knocked out to Aston Villa, I'll be disappointed. There is no possibility that Arsenal beat either Real Madrid or Atletico. It is not going to happen. Get it through your heads and just give up from now. I'm telling you right now, quarterfinal, you're going to get eliminated. Whether it's Atleti or whether it's Real Madrid, you are out. This is not your competition. You have no difference makers whatsoever in your team. You beat PSV. Hooray.
Oh my god, he's done it again! Oh my god, Declan Rice, I can't even hate! What the actual am I watching?
Wow, well done. You beat PSV. Champions League, don't talk. Don't talk. You needed to be on the other side of the draw with Bayern Munich and the other bums on the other side. Now, when you're on the side with Real Madrid and Atletico, you're out. And guarantee. Martinelli and Saka against Simeone low block or against Real Madrid back four. Shiver me timbers.
Oh my god, Declan Rice just scored another free kick. What the hell is going on? Oh my god, Arsenal just scored the third. Oh my god, what the hell is going on?
This is not your competition. You have no difference makers whatsoever in your team. You beat PSV. Hooray.
Welcome back to Straight Facts on Wednesday. I'm joined by the brilliant, the wonderful, the majestic LB. I've got the big winner from last night. We are talking that game later. We're talking the flop that is Harry Kane with another disastrous performance in Judge Mo. And answering for his crimes, 0% chance debunked in the first leg. Con Husam is with us today. The biggest con artist on YouTube is here. Welcome everybody back to the show. Viewers, get the like button hit, get subscribing. How are we all today?
All right. It was a good night. We've seen a couple episodes of Curry and that. You know what I mean? We was cooking on the gas. Shout out Gail Platt. And a couple of.
I know you weren't watching it because Gal Platt's left now.
Yes. He fucking got me. Fucking hell. He got me. Big up, man. Big up to the panel. Big up to the chat. Yeah, it's not good, man. And my other team that I was supporting, Bayern, got stuffed. So that wasn't good either. So yeah, just a terrible night all round, really.
I get that. In fairness, your reactions, I was watching a lot of watch-alongs last night for my show this morning, and the way it's funny because I got cooked in the group chat for the way I kind of celebrated the free kicks. I was obviously rubbing a bit of salt into the wounds, but actually Matisse and Saeed were quite similar to mine. It was like almost smiles on our faces with the quality. Even Hassan, you couldn't hide your hatred. You couldn't. You had to smile. But I do have to ask you at the top before we break the game down: are you willing now to admit that your prediction was wrong? That there is 0 chance that Arsenal had no chance in God's green earth of going through, not through yet. They've got to see the job through. But does last night's result, Husam, prove that you were wrong?
First of all, LB being on the show has significantly reduced the quality of the stream. You get me? It's already difficult working with Mo and Terry. Now I've got to deal with LB's bullshit as well.
Hey, yo, listen, yeah, I'll tell you this right now.
Let me speak.
No, you were so disrespectful to Arsenal.
Let me speak.
You were so disrespectful to Arsenal. Yeah, you was on the stream saying they've got a 1% chance of beating Real Madrid, and they beat them 3-0. So
thank you. That's the second point I was about to make. So I did not say 0%, said 1% after revising my prediction. So I said 1%, not 0%. And third of all, I stick by my opinion. I think it's 1%, but now it's 1% Real Madrid go through. That's the 1% now. Now it's 1% Madrid go through because this tie is over right here. What happened yesterday was just I'm going to just speak about it because it's just not normal. What happened yesterday was something that the most positive Arsenal fan in the universe didn't predict, and the most negative Madrid fan in the universe didn't predict. 3-0 win is completely unpredictable. It's completely something like no one expected at all, to be honest with you. Like, it's just something came out of nowhere. I have no idea why Odegaard was taking free kicks all season long. He was taking free kicks. It makes no sense. You know, LB was calling him Declan Rice, and then he scored 2 free kicks. Why didn't you clip that up? You knew LB was on the show.
Hang on, no, LB featured on this morning's show. LB is featured. LB featured this morning on a show that's had 50,000 views already, right? But the difference is what you're doing here, Sam, and I'm going to stop you.
So you're saying LB is not main event?
No. I'm not saying that at all. I am not saying that at all, right? I'm telling you to stop deflecting from your fraudulent behavior.
Yeah, of course I'm wrong. 100%. I already said I'm wrong. I've put out a video on my channel. Subscribe to Don Husam, more elite content. I put out a video on my channel titled Arsenal Humbled Me. And I got completely humbled yesterday. It was worse than Atalanta last year. It was completely worse than Atalanta. I swear to God. Because this is something that is just completely out of the realms of possibility. Like, the fact that they beat Madrid by 3 goals, Declan Rice 2 free kicks, goal by Mikel Merino to everyone, is just something completely unpredictable. And credit to them. I think there are 3 reasons why Arsenal won yesterday. Number 1, Mikel Arteta absolutely outcoached the shit out of Ancelotti. They nullified Real Madrid to a degree that is completely... like, I haven't seen this whole season. The second thing is, I have to give massive credit, Miles Lewis-Skelly. I've defended him for the last 2 weeks from the media agenda. I've said he's an absolutely unbelievable footballer. The guy inverted in midfield and was playing passes through the lines. Just not a normal performance. And the third one is Declan Rice. Because to have that individual moment of quality, to score those 2 free kicks, I saw what Mo said when he said, like, it's one of the best free kicks or the best free kick he's seen. I don't think that's that much of a crazy take, given the stakes, given everything. Like, obviously, we've probably seen better quality free kicks before, but the stakes, the fact it's a quarter final, the fact it's against Real Madrid, just unbelievable free kick, to be honest with you. So,
to be honest with you, are you going to finally admit? So, apart from the score line, the Arsenal won 3-0, and they didn't win because of, like, the performance and they stole a win or something. Are you going to admit that you don't know how to analyze football games? Because you basically analyzed in the beginning, like, the analysis of the football match is that you actually didn't see Arsenal putting in a good performance like this. So it's not about the score. Forget the score. Anyone can get a score line wrong, or anyone can get a player making a mistake. But the performance of Arsenal yesterday proved one thing, that you didn't know how Arsenal played all season. And you didn't know that Arsenal and Mikel Arteta can set up the team to nullify Real Madrid. And that is the whole problem with your analysis, Husam, to be honest. It's not about hooking you because you got the scoreline wrong. It's about Real Madrid being overrated and being schooled tactically by Arsenal during the game. You didn't trust Arteta in terms of the defense. You didn't trust any Arsenal fan. I thought we're gonna have I thought we're not gonna have an Arsenal fan. I thought Terry was here. It's the only Arsenal fan here.
Yeah, because he referred to yesterday as we. That's crazy.
So for me, to be honest with you, we're gonna go into the game and analyze the game and everything. But you got the analysis not only for the scoreline, for the ability of Arsenal team as a whole wrong, because they completely look like the better team on the pitch. It's not about Declan Rice scoring 2 free kicks, which is a lot of rivals will say that only Arsenal won because of 2 moments. No, Arsenal were the dominant team. This could have been 5 or 6.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
because the Champions League is won in moments. You know this.
No, but this game was not won in moments. Here's the difference. When Man City played Real Madrid and they lost at the Bernabeu, Man City were the better team during that game when Real Madrid scored.
But Madrid won in moments. I'm not saying Arsenal did win in moments. I'm not saying
game, okay, so this game was not about the moments. Tactically, an overall play of the game is exactly what Arsenal wanted in this game. They were on top of this Real Madrid game from the minute 1 to the last minute. And that is the difference between, we analyze it like no one, for example, when you're watching the City game versus Real Madrid, it's only about the moments. It's not the performance. Man City were better than Real Madrid in this game. They only lost it in moments. Man City against Real Madrid 4-0. Man City schooled Real Madrid. scoreline and performances. Arsenal yesterday proved to people that it is not only about moments. You can go in a Champions League game and perform better than the other team. In the opposite, Arsenal against, Inter, which LB watched that game. Bayern Munich were not bad in the game. But the problem in the moments in that game, Harry Kane was a fraud.
Well, here's the problem with your statement.
And let me finish that point. When you knew, you were watching Inter game on the side. When the moments came to Lautaro Martinez and to Fratesi and to the Inter players,
did you even listen to what I said at the start? Did I not? When I first started, what did I say?
So you're gonna admit that you don't know ball?
Well, first of all, I said number one.
You're the least guy.
Number one. I said
people in the chat. Let's not speak over each other. This is not our. Like and subscribe. Don Husam tonight, 11 p.m. UK time, after the reaction of Manchester of the football terrace. You admit on this that you don't know ball. People in the chat, does Husam know ball? It's a yes or no question. Does Husam know ball? Let's get how many people watching Terry? 3,000 people.
You ask your question, they're gonna tell us now in the chat. Everyone say no, obviously. But when I first started speaking, I said number one, credit to Mikel Arteta because he nullified Real Madrid. That doesn't mean Arsenal won the game in moments. I said they nullified Real Madrid. So I think Arsenal were better from 0 to 90. First half was a bit even. I think there was more intensity from Arsenal. Saka put in 2 great crosses. I think the only chance I recall was the Mbappe shot in like the 38th second. Other than that, they were completely nullified. But it's 100%. You have to credit Mikel Arteta, you know, and the Arteta outers like Dan Potts now need to apologize to Mikel Arteta.
Here we go. Hang on. But look at we'll come to Potsy, and Potsy can never say, but stop the deflection, Husam. First it was LB, now it's Potsy, and this is the thing, right? You do understand football, but you were so over the top with this prediction. It was the 0% thing. It was not disrespectful to make Real Madrid.
I said 1%. Don't misquote.
Okay. Right. 1%. It was disrespectful. And I just think there's been too many examples in the last 5-6 years in football alone to ever completely write another professional team off when you're talking the elite end of the spectrum. Just this season alone, who predicted Man United coming and performing and getting a result at Anfield? Nobody. But it happened as an example. Right down to Plymouth knocking your own team out of the FA Cup. I just feel, and I'm getting a little serious with this, for the sake of content creation, listen, have your banter, call people out. But we seriously, as an elder statesman of this industry, if you want to call it that now, Husam, you should not be encouraging the youngsters to make stupid 1% predictions, because we all know that isn't how football works. So I'm glad you got cooked. I'm glad you've had to show your ass crack on camera, because a metaphorical one, I wouldn't want to see the real one, because it was just an outrageous thing to say.
It was disrespectful from Husam. Yeah, this is the truth. Yeah, and we had this.
You said 10%. How's that respectful?
I don't think that's a disrespectful.
Oh, 10%. So every 100 games, Arsenal win 10, but that's respectful.
You said Arsenal would win 1 out of 100 games,
and you said 10 out of 100. So what? That's a bit more respectful.
I don't think that's
That's 10 times more ball knowledge than you.
I don't think that's a disrespect. I think going into this Arsenal game against Real Madrid, I don't think 10% was a disrespectful.
Hey, 10 times 0 is 0.
But you saying 1% is a disrespect.
You know, LB, I noticed something with you. Why don't you apologize as well, huh? Because I said I'm wrong. No, because I said I'm wrong, and I credited Arsenal for the last 24 hours. Number one, you said 10%. Number two, when Declan Rice was taking his free kicks, you were saying decline Rice before he took his free kicks. He scored both. So how about you apologize too? So don't sit up here and act like, oh, you knew this was going to happen.
Bro, at the end of the day, yeah, I would say...
You want to know the only one who deserves credit here? Bro. Terry and Mo. Because they both said Arsenal deserve a chance. Potts gave up before it happened. You said 10% and decline Rice. So how about you apologize too? Nah, see? That's the difference between me and you.
LB,
that's the difference between me and you. I apologize.
I will say, LB, your reactions, right? It was almost the second one.
What?
There was almost, I loved your reactions. It was almost like you knew. It was almost like you were like, nah, he won't. But you could just see on your face, it's like, because I felt Rice was going to score the second one. For whatever reason, I don't know why, you get these moments in football where you just, and we've all had it. When Bruno was about to take that free kick against Arsenal a few weeks back, I think everyone knew he was going to score. There was just something about that free kick at that moment with the game state. But yeah, your reactions killed me, LB. It was like I could see the smirk coming through because you knew the free kick was special, but you knew what this meant after saying Declan Rice. It was a beautiful little moment. Potsy, obviously here as an Arsenal fan, you know, I know you didn't give your team much hope of going through, but break down the emotion, the feeling of what your team produced last night. Because I have to say, I think it's your greatest ever Emirates performance, without a doubt.
Easily. There hasn't even been many that have even come close. And I would mention the Arshavin situation against Barcelona as being one that was right up there. But at 2-1 against the Pep Guardiola side that's been recognised as probably the greatest ever Barcelona side, I don't feel like I was confident going into that second leg. Now, I'm not saying we're going to walk the second leg because it's the Bernabeu and anything can happen, right? But we've got to seriously bottle it to not go through now, being 3-0 up. So that for me was unbelievable. Yeah, my voice is gone, man, because last night, justifiably, I was screaming quite a lot. How do I sum up the emotions of it, Terry? If I'm honest with you, the fans were absolutely incredible last night. And we haven't always been incredible at the Emirates. And I think what that's done is it's shown who actually did turn up last night. It was proper fans that were there at that ground. Yeah. And I'm not saying that some of the other Premier League games don't have proper fans. I'm not one of those. Everyone's an Arsenal fan. Everyone's welcome. But those that have been for a long, long time, there was no, oh, it's Shakhtar, I'll sell my ticket, or nah, it's Everton, I'll put it on ticket exchange for one of the other guys or the tourists to get a chance to come. It was proper Arsenal blood in that stadium, and it was electric. I think you could feel it on the TV. I think you could hear it on the TV. It was absolutely outstanding to be a part of. I would say that the team news was very brave from Mikel Arteta in the end because he stuck to his guns and he was stubborn. Something that he's definitely been tripped up on before. Kyrgios starting, Lewis Skelly on that left-hand side alongside him. Obviously stuck with Merino through the centre. Ødegaard continues to play even though he's been kind of droppable in the last few. All of those question marks, which I think we all knew secretly deep down he was probably going to go with that team. And then he did. I thought it was phenomenal. I was massively wrong. I didn't see it happening. I thought we'd lose the game. Husam didn't see it happening. LB didn't see it happening. I'm sure Mo deep down, although he's given us a chance, and yourself, Terry, probably thought it might have been difficult. But you know what? 3-0, no one had that. If I said to you boys, the score's going to be 3-0, you would have said it would be Real Madrid who wins 3-0. Never would you have said Arsenal. What makes me laugh is my phone's dead. And it's beautiful that my phone's dead because it means we're doing something right. Could you imagine my phone if it was 3-0 Real Madrid? Buzz all night. LB laughing his head off. Husam absolutely lapping it up on stream. That's what would have happened. But unfortunately, it was the most boring of hate-alongs ever. Expressions is doing his best to try and hate on it. Can't do it. KG can't do it on DR.
Whoa. We was hating on Real Madrid at the same time, bro.
Say again?
We was hating on Real Madrid at the same time.
LB wanted the game to get cancelled and both teams to get out of the competition, bro.
Yeah.
He was like, can they have a fight? He's like, can we have a fight? And then the game gets cancelled, so both teams get out of the competition. And someone else will win it.
Real talk.
Bro, well, let's have a 30-second moment and give Dan a chance to apologize to Mikel Arteta. We're just going to be silent on the stream and give Dan a 30-second to apologize for Mikel Arteta for the masterclass that he produced.
Yeah, you have to apologize to Mikel.
There's no apologies needed for me in terms of Mikel Arteta. He lifted the trophy, man. But do you know what? That was a phenomenal performance from everyone, including Mikel. Mikel got everything spot on, man. Everything spot on. And we dominated it. We cooked them. We fried them. We pammed them. 3-0, man. No one had this. And let's just take a minute to talk about Declan Rice free kicks. Because I spoke to Robbie on Saturday and I said to him, Rob, you know the last free kick we scored was in 2021. Martin Ødegaard against Burnley. He's like, right, really? I said, yeah, Saka scored against PSG, but it kind of just floated in and just carried on going in. Yeah. So no one's counting it as a proper free kick, although it goes down as one. But Declan Rice, the first one was outstanding in terms of the distance, how he struck it, how he bent it around the wall. It was brilliant. But that second one, that is a bad boy free kick. That right there has got to be, in my time, the best free kick that I've seen Arsenal take. It's better than the Henry ones for me. It's better than the Sanchez ones. It's better than Ozil's, Ødegaard's, all these guys that have taken free kicks for Arsenal, Fabregas's of the world. That right there, against Real Madrid in the quarterfinals of the Champions League to put you 2-0 up is inch perfect, man.
Do you know what's
So are you
amazing?
deflecting from the apology as well? Can I understand?
I did just apologize. What are you talking about?
Do you apologize to Mikel Arteta for being that great?
What am I apologizing for? What am I apologizing for, Husam?
For schooling
won a
Carlo
trophy.
Ancelotti?
Because he's won a trophy and I said that he couldn't. Is that why I'm apologizing?
Oh, there you go.
Have you ever said that Arteta's a bad
You got nothing
coach?
to come back from.
Oh, here we go. We're doing the whole
Here we go.
win at trophy
Have
thing.
you,
Like how they do this,
have
Terry.
you-
Like how
have
they
you
do this,
ever-
Terry.
Potsy,
go on,
have you
go on.
ever said that Arteta's a bad coach?
Yes.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a few
Yesterday,
years ago.
okay, of course, a few years ago he was coming eighth. Yes, he was
Yeah,
changing
exactly.
formation. But for the people that keep saying that Arteta's a bad, yes, he hasn't won Arsenal a trophy, which is at the end you need to win the trophy. But yesterday's performance proves that Mikel Arteta can set up a team at the big stages to win football matches, which is why he hasn't lost against a big team. Maybe there are other coaches that might win you a cup here and there. But to have a manager like this come against two Ballon d'Or contenders in Mbappe and Vinny, with absentees, with Kivior, to prepare Kivior for a game like this in front of 60,000 at the Emirates when everyone is ruling you out before the game, including zero ball knowledge right here with us, is absolutely...
Including LB as well and Potts.
Yeah, but he's got to get him across the line, though, isn't it?
Yes,
that is my
we
question mark, LB.
100%. No
So this
question
is not
about
my
this.
question mark.
But that is not for the people, LB, that is not for the people that say we have to win a trophy. Every big football club, if you call yourself big, your manager has to win a trophy. But the people that are questioning his tactical ability and the way he sets up a team and the way he manages people, because people say that he's not a good man manager, he's not a good tactician, LB, he cannot set up a team at the big stage. That is just a response. It's the biggest game for Arsenal in about 15 years.
Yeah, but he is a good. The thing is with Arteta, he is a good coach. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. The question is can he get Arsenal over the line in a major?
That is it,
run?
LB. That is the question mark.
Yeah,
And we've beaten them now 3-0, unbelievably, and we'll praise him for that. When we get across the line, I will come out and say, wow, I never see this coming. We win this Champions League, which, let's be real, we have a good chance of doing. We've just got past, well, should get past the best team in the competition everyone believes was going to win it or definitely get to the final. Barcelona, Inter Milan all need to be respected, as do PSG and Villa. But there is a great opportunity for Arsenal here. We can win the Champions League this season and it'd be unbelievable, right? And people like myself, Gunnar, Kenny Ken, Northside, all these guys that have had question marks, Troops, a lot of the people, Turkish, Curtis, we could all go, rah. Fair play.
Yeah, but
Fair play.
I'm sorry, but I get the people that say Arteta out, they want him out. LB is spot on about this, right? Arteta's a good coach. For the people that couldn't see that Arteta's a good coach, this is why I question how you watch Arsenal Football Club.
Well,
you cannot sit here and see all these games that he hasn't lost, the way he set up against big teams, the way he played against Paris Saint-Germain, the way he played against Real Madrid, and the way he played against City with no striker, and you tell me he's not a good coach. Getting over the line is a different thing. There's a lot of coaches in the history of the sport that you watch them and you think, this coach is a very good coach. He set up the team very well. But we cannot just sit here and be disingenuous. I'm sorry, Terry. And sit here and people, because he hasn't won trophies, we say he's a bad coach.
Okay,
a good coach is how we see the team.
But there's language.
There's a lot of people that think that.
Mo. Let me just jump in for a second. But that's why language is important, right? Because when I hear people say like Mikel Arteta, I have heard people say he won't get another good job in football. Again, I think that's an exaggeration. I think some of the criticism of him has been warranted when he's made mistakes in games, when these teams have fallen off, when he has made mistakes. Like, as an example, these things have happened, but there's always that polarization, as you say. Worst coach we've had, or worst this, or what. He isn't. You don't do what you did last night if you're an absolutely horrible coach. You don't get into 2-3 title races on the bounce if you're an absolutely dreadful, one of the worst coaches in the Premier League type thing. So that anyone who says that is just lying. The same as Husam, he never believed there was a 0 or 1% chance that Arsenal got through. He never truly believed that in his heart of hearts. He said it as it was like a safe bet prophecy, in the hope it's like a bet where Real Madrid are likely to go through. So what I'll do is say there's 0 chance. And then when the most obvious thing happens, which is Real Madrid go through, I can say, didn't I tell you there was 0 chance? It's called a safe bet prophecy. And for me, that's what a lot of people do with Mikel Arteta. I'm going to say it's the worst ever. Say all these mad, crazy, extreme things. Some of them will happen, and then I'll pull on those few things and go, didn't I tell you all the things I said about him was true? The same, by the way, though, the people that love him off. Both extreme groups do the same thing. I've heard some Arsenal fans in the last 5 years say they think he's going to have a better legacy than Arsene Wenger, that he's better than this, better than that. People that have actually won major trophies. And I look at it and think, yeah, a handful of things you predicted he would do have come true, but loads haven't. I just think there are two groups of people in the Arsenal fan base. Some that hate him, some that love him too much. And I think they are all, at times, far too over the top with their analysis of him. Is he a very good coach? Yes. He's got teams into title races. Look at he's doing this season in the Champions League as an example. Is he a world-class, one of the greatest coaches in the world? I mean, maybe contemporary, how many are better than him? You can make the argument. Over the course of the last 20 years, no, he isn't, because he's got to achieve the outcomes that the other great coaches have got. It's just so hard at times to have a balanced conversation about Mikel Arteta for me. It's so hard.
Let me just say something important, Terry. First of all, Terry, if someone misrepresents you, you start getting your face red and shouting at your microphone. When I say something on YouTube, I mean it 100%. So you can't accuse me of saying something, oh, just so when Real Madrid go through, he says, I told you so. I said 1% Arsenal, and I genuinely believed 1% Arsenal. And Mo asked the question, so since you say 1% Arsenal, what do you predict? I said they're going to get eliminated minimum by 3+ goal margin. So when I said something, I mean it. Since 4 years being on YouTube, every single statement I've made on this platform, I mean it 100%. Now, if I got it wrong or I got it right, that's two different things. But I genuinely believe that Arsenal only had 1% chance. I gave you guys the reasons, the experience, the game-changing players, etc. Now, yesterday, obviously, I was proven wrong, but I did believe 1% at the time. So I did not say it just so, oh, when Real Madrid knock them out, I'm going to say, oh, look, I told you so. No, I'm not about that.
Okay. Let me ask Potsy a question, yeah? Can I ask Potsy a question, right? So you previously said to me, yeah, and other people that if you don't win anything this year, you want Arteta to leave, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of that performance yesterday and how dominant you were, even if you don't win the Champions League, has that performance sort of like changed your opinion that actually maybe he could get you across the line? Or are you still saying if he doesn't win you anything this year, you want him gone?
No, I'm still sticking to the latter because he's got to win us a trophy. It's okay putting out individual performances like that. They need to be consistent. And I've seen him do stuff like that before. I've seen him go and beat big teams before. I've seen him go and beat Manchester City before. I've seen him win an FA Cup before with a poor side. But I don't think he can be the guy to get us across the line, and I'm hoping that I'm wrong. And the Sam's bang on, by the way. If we're wrong, there's nothing wrong with us saying we're wrong. There's nothing wrong with us coming out going, well, I didn't see that coming. I've already had to do it to say, look, I don't think Arteta is really the guy to get us across the line. I don't think he can get us into a title race. I said that when we were coming 8th and 5th. And I went, now he's got to try and win us it. And this is the thing. When we appointed him, I didn't want him because I didn't believe we could win trophies on the top level in terms of Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues. It wasn't, oh, well, look at a phenomenal job. He's just got 4th. That's phenomenal. That's not what I wanted. I didn't want to be 4th. Do you know what I mean? I want to go and win stuff. Oh, he's got 8th to 5th. Unbelievable. Brilliant. But that's not what I wanted. That's another year's wasted. Well, I wanted to win stuff. So for me, it's about winning the Champions League now. He's got to go and win that competition for me. You're 3-0 up against Real Madrid. You've got PSG or Villa. I'm not going to lie to you. I think we're better than both of them. Will we beat them? Should do. We should. And then we've got Barcelona or Inter Milan or whoever it be. Roll the dice and see what happens. But then it becomes more difficult. For me, I think those players, those teams
don't get like, okay, I don't think you're better than PSG. Actually, because I think PSG are one of the best teams in the competition. Without a striker, you're still not better than PSG, actually, because I think PSG have something that Real Madrid don't have, and that's for a different conversation when you go through and if PSG goes through. But
do you know what, Mo? I think that's an interesting take, isn't it? And I suppose that's why when it comes to what Potsy wants versus what I think PSG are a phenomenal side. I think there's an argument to say Arsenal are better. They've beaten them already this season. One thing Arsenal have got in their favour is defensively, they really are strong. And I think they've demonstrated that every single step of this competition. But if you're someone that genuinely believes that Arsenal are better than everybody else now remaining on this side of their draw, then you should expect at least a final as an example. If, though, like you, Mo, you see it as there's 3 or 4 teams that are better than Arsenal and Arteta ends up coming in second, then you'll look at it as an overachievement. And I think that's sometimes the issue when it comes to the question that LB asked, I thought was a really good one. It all depends on how good you think the opposition are. If that makes sense, you know.
I get all your point, yeah.
So
but the thing about it is that I still think that he overachieved by beating Real Madrid. I think the tie is done, right? I know that I watched. I think the tie is done. Logically speaking, guys, speaking, the tie is done. If Real Madrid score 4 past Arsenal, who haven't conceded 3 goals since they played Man City 2 seasons ago, I'll be very surprised. So logically speaking, the tie is done. Reaching the semi-final is an overachievement. I don't want anyone to tell me.
You think that's an overachievement?
Okay.
Look at this guy. You guys are so full of shit.
I was about to say
that. It's a fucking overachievement.
Allah al-Azim, LB.
Beating Real Madrid 3-0 alone. This will be remembered forever.
No. Speaking about just get into the semi-final. You're saying get into a semi-final.
I can explain it.
Guys. Explain why it's an overachievement.
Can I get you? This competition, falling against Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid, having the injuries that happened to them, losing Gabriel, having Bukayo Saka half fit, not having a striker, everyone expected Mikel Arteta to be knocked out by Real Madrid and not even put in a good performance. Him reaching the semi-final with these injuries and with the way they're going through to the semi-final is an overachievement for a lot of people. People are saying that you wouldn't even get past one of the Madrid teams. To get emphatic wins like this is an overachievement.
Yes. And I agree. At the end of the day, Arsenal will predict. What don't you agree with? Let me just.
Come on, LB.
LB, let me just break this down for you for a second. They were predicted by most. The consensus didn't think they'd make top 8. The consensus thought they were going to get knocked out by Real Madrid and not even lay a glove on them. If they finish the job and they get through to the semis, they have exceeded at every stage so far. The consensus expectation. If you exceed expectation, how have you not overachieved?
Okay, so hang on a minute. We're saying, that the team that's finished second in the Premier League 2 seasons in a row, is overachieved by getting to the semi-final.
So did you expect them to reach the semi-final of the Champions League this season?
No matter what I expect or what. I'm not
no, but that's exactly what it is.
No, it's not. It's not.
That's the definition of overachieving.
You're now saying that Arsenal overachieved. So sounding Arsenal fans just don't even turn up for the semi-final because you
said that. No one said that. No one has said that.
No way am I having it that the team that's finished second in the Premier League is overachieved.
No, but LB, what you're not doing, what you're not being generous with there, right? And I understand if you say it like that, you might think it's different, right? Arsenal come second 3 years in a row, probably going to happen again this season. Well, definitely is going to happen this season. And they've got to a semi-final. Cool. Now put in the circumstances that Arsenal have had. Going to Real Madrid, who everyone said we got no chance about, without Gabriel, our best defender, Saka, who's half fit, no striker, we have to play Merino up there, who, by the way, did very well. What a finish that was, by the way. Yeah. You give us absolutely zero chance. I know you didn't. I watched your watch along. I give
you a 10% chance.
That's nothing, is it? I give that as
well. That's the definition of overachieving. What don't you understand? When you say Arsenal have a... Let me explain. Let me explain it. Let me speak now. Someone has to be logical on the stream. When you say that Arsenal...
All right, 0%.
Wait, I said 1%. First of all. When you say Arsenal have a 10% chance, meaning every 100 times Arsenal play against Real Madrid, they're going to win 10 of them. Yes, they're going to win 10 of them. They have just beaten them 3-0, and you're coming here and saying they haven't overachieved. With this, you're the same person that also said Rodrygo is clear of Saka. You're the same person that said, I don't know, 1 or 2 Arsenal players get into the Madrid combined.
Tell me the Declan Rice thing that he said again.
By definition, if someone is a massive underdog to another team and said underdog beats said team, they have overachieved by definition, whether you like it or not.
This for me though, LB, you
I don't know what you're doing here. LB.
You don't have to have it,
I'm not having it. I'm not having it. Yeah, the Arsenal who've spent all this money, who finished second in the Premier League 2 years in a row, we're now saying have overachieved because they've got to a semi-final.
But you predicted them to go out, so how have they not exceeded you? Forget what everyone else said. Have they exceeded your expectations this season in the Champions League so far?
No.
So you expected them to beat Real Madrid?
I thought Arsenal would get to the semi-finals, quarter-final stage, around that stage. That's where
You
I'd
get-
expect them to
when
get.
the draw
That's where
is-
I would
But
expect
then they got the
Arsenal
draw.
to
Then
get.
they got the draw. They got Real Madrid. Did you think they would go through this round?
I thought Real Madrid would win the one-off game.
So
But
Arsenal, if they
going
feed
into the
through, have
Champions League
overachieved your
system-
expectations. This is
No,
the thing for me.
No,
This
they
is
overachieved. They won a
your
football match.
your
I
expectations.
predicted them to get to the quarterfinals, semi-final stage. That's where I would imagine a Premier League team that's finished second in a row to get. I'm not saying that Arsenal have overachieved.
There's going
for
down
getting to a
swinging, and then there's
semi-final.
going down drowning, and you're drowning.
Yeah.
right now.
I'm
Do you know what?
drowning.
Do you know what I
I'm
find?
chilling though.
Do you know what
Can
I
I-
find? Sorry, Mo. One sec. Do you know what I find interesting about this? Is again, there's a consensus opinion that they have overachieved or underachieved against. There's also individuals. So again, if you're an Arsenal fan or a rival that spent the whole week pray for Madrid, this is going to be fun. Madrid are going to kill them. Madrid are going to beat them up. This is when it comes to the Arteta conversation, it becomes tiring and boring. When I then hear some random Chelsea fan say everything I ever told you about Arteta is right. Well, no, it isn't, because you predicted Madrid to win 5-0 over 2 legs. Therefore, there's something that's wrong. It's hard to have balance. And I'm not saying LB isn't doing this. I'm just saying in general, it's hard to have. And it's
No,
mainly
LB is doing
Arsenal.
it. Call his ass out. You're doing it, LB.
I ain't doing it. I'm
Okay,
saying
did
to
you
you,
not?
if I would have said to Pops here at the start of the season, you're going to get to a semi-final and everyone's going to say you overachieved. What do you think he's
I'm
saying?
gonna debunk
Listen
this.
here, you fraud, because you're missing the point. When the draw happened
Yeah,
and
I'm
they got
gonna
Real
debunk-
Madrid,
Okay, so
I said
basically what we're doing then,
1%,
Pops,
you
Oh,
said
this is-
10%.
we're
Let me
taking
speak.
your
Boring.
I said 1%, you said 10%. Whether
Yes.
we, because it's the same for me and for Potts, whether we like it or not, because we gave Arsenal no hope in hell, whether
for the
it's
one
1% or
game. I'm
whether it's
talking
1%,
about the
let me finish,
situation
let
of
me
the
finish, let
tournament.
me finish. Whether it's 1% or 10%, it's the same thing. Because we gave Arsenal no hope in hell,
same
if
thing
they
at all.
therefore go beat Real Madrid and are through to the semi-final, they have exceeded our expectations. It doesn't matter what you said in August, because if I spoke to you in August, you would have said it depends on the draw, it depends who they got. Okay, they got Real Madrid. Me and your reaction after Real Madrid is Madrid are gonna win, Arsenal have no chance, they have a minimal chance, 1%, 10%, tomato. So now if they beat them, they overachieved our expectation after the draw happened.
Okay.
That's
So
the point.
first of all, don't be saying yet 1% is the same as 10%. Yeah, don't be dragging me down to your disrespectful fucking lows. Yeah, saying 1% and then telling me that is the same as 10%, because it's not. I actually gave Arsenal a chance. Yes, it was a minimal chance, but I gave them a chance. Unlike you, sat there and just disrespected the football club. When I'm talking about do I think they've overachieved, I'm talking about Arsenal Football Club as a whole. And saying that Arsenal Football Club have overachieved by getting to a semi-final of the Champions League when they spent nearly 800 million quid and have finished second 2 seasons in a row in the Premier League is a joke. On a one-off game, did I expect them to beat Real Madrid? No. So GG's for that. But saying that they've overachieved to get to a semi-final is ridiculous.
Could we
I'm
overachieve
gonna-
if we got to the
guys,
final?
Can I end
game?
this? I need to
Guys,
ask LB a question, please.
Hang on,
Can I
hang on,
just-
please. As a host, let me just jump in a second. Ask the
Go
question, and then we're going to move on. There's a load of super chats,
Yeah,
and there's
okay.
lots of other subjects to get into as well. that the viewers
LB,
wanna hear
very
about.
simple. Your
Yeah.
expectations at the beginning of the season was for Man City to win the Premier League. Is that correct? Your expectations for Man City to win the Premier League.
Yeah.
During the season, Man City fell off completely, and your expectation changed, right? If Man City, after the 12 games with 1 win, went on to win the Premier League, have they exceeded your expectations?
No.
What?
So you say at the start of the season we won the league.
God.
Expect seasons. No, what he said is that at the start you expect to win it.
Yeah.
Then your
And
expectations
then we
change
won it.
because you were awful and you're like, oh, there's no way we're winning it now. We'll be lucky to come fourth. If you then went on to win it, your new expectations were exceeded, right?
No, because my expectations were to win the league. My expectations for Arsenal going into the Champions League is that they get towards the quarterfinals,
so
semi-finals.
We don't
what,
win it
what,
to
what
overachieve.
LB is doing, which
we
I
do.
think is disingenuous, to be honest with you, mate, is you're removing the game state. For instance, if Man United go out against Lyon, some people will expect us to win because they would say we're the better team. Not everyone would, but say you do. If we have 2 players sent off in the first half, the expectation probably is we might go out then. If we then go on to win, it becomes a bigger achievement than at the beginning of the football match because we did it with 2 men being sent off. The Arsenal Man United is a great example. We were the underdogs. We became even bigger underdogs going down a man, and then we won. So I think we exceeded even more expectations. But look, viewers, give us your thoughts on that. Give us your opinion, because I want to speak about some of the individual players, but we've got to go to some of these super
Why
chats.
hasn't Potts apologized to NLB and I'm the only one apologized?
Listen, Mo, listen, Husam, we'll come back to that. I've got to get to the audience because I'll be blunt with you four. They're the most important. The audience is the most important part of the football terrace, right? So I've got to go and chat to them. They really, really are. Without the audience, we're all just talking to ourselves. Husam is a megastar. LB is a special guest in this cooking.
I'm humbled by your kind words. Thank you very much. I'm just Sam from Jordan. I'm a humble guy.
Arsenal might not only have eliminated Real Madrid from the Champions League, they might also have eliminated Husam's future generation. If you know what, if you know, you know.
Oh my God! Yes. Oh my God!
Big up Unai.
There we go. Real Madrid have been poor the entire season. No shock. IFL. You have been super chatting on the football terrace for many a year. I love and respect that. But you were laughing when they got them. You were goading them, and you said they were going to get cooked. You cannot you can't change your mind now. I remember it, brother. I really do.
A lot of people do.
And you're the same liar that said Terry blocked Mo Salah criticism on the terrace. So hold that. Made me spend 2 Jordanian dinars.
Oh yeah, we had to super chat in because he said that we blocked those Mo Salah words. Yeah, that's correct. I fly from the US once a year for an Arsenal game. I've never seen a performance like. Imagine you fly over for your one game a year and it's this one. Imagine that's the one. Big up yourself, Jay. He said the atmosphere was the loudest I've ever heard in my life. Never been more proud of my club. Come on, you gooners. I spoke to my mate. He's 50 years old, my mate, and he's been going to the Emirates and Highbury for many years. And he actually said to me, like, last night was the most special experience at home he's ever felt. It was just, I think 100%. As well, because he said that we haven't had very many big knockout Champions League nights like that ever. So that's just his word. So yeah, he loved it. Very similar to what Jay says.
Arsenal have been in the Champions League.
Great performance, Gunners. This Madrid team is shit all season. As a Barca fan, I can see this coming. Husam, Habibi, have some shame. Potts, cheers, mate, is what Eric says.
So then now you're just reducing Arsenal's achievement because Madrid's league form has nothing to do with what they do in the Champions League. Me and LB can tell you that based on first-hand experience. They would go lose to Osasuna and then fucking beat us in the Champions League.
I understand that, Husam, but equally, there were some people in the build-up to this. By the way, I'm not calling out Madrid fans from around the world. I don't know them personally. But I watched a video yesterday where they were interviewing lots and lots of, I've watched 4 different channels do this, where they were interviewing Madrid fans outside the Bernabeu in Madrid. The amount of them that predicted losing this first leg compared to what UK-based fans were saying, first of all, the Madrid fans that you see typically that go to their games, that speak out, that live in Madrid, they don't talk like Real Madrid fans from outside of Spain online. Like the difference is palpable, right? Also, a lot of them expected to lose this game. So I don't think Eric's being disrespectful. The problem is that whenever you predict a Real Madrid loss, you're always met with, yes, it's the Champions League, though, which is fair because we've seen them do it. But there were a lot of people on this platform, but a lot of people in Spain that were predicting a Real Madrid loss. So I'm not going to just shout Eric down for that. I saw it myself.
No, we've played Real Madrid 3 times. Haven't conceded a goal yet. I don't know what all the fuss is all about, man. Not great.
Yeah. The whole planet said in the UCL Madrid are different. Everybody did. Well, most people, a lot of people said that. It's from Kenny. He says Real have been trash all season. They have no tactics at all. They just rely on individuals. They need a better coach. Eyebrow raising won't work, is what Kenny says here. Last week, I asked if Arteta is a better tactical manager than Ancelotti. Everyone on the panel said no. I'm asking again.
One game doesn't disprove this.
Yeah, I'm still saying no to that, mate. Yeah, this is a manager that's won, 5 Champions Leagues or something, compared to a guy that's won 1 FA Cup. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, and this is what you've also got to be careful of as well. And this isn't a dig at Arteta, it's just the truth. You've also got to look at when eras are being handed over. I've seen very good up-and-coming UFC fighters beat legends that are past their best. Doesn't mean they beat that legend at the peak of their power. There is just, even Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson. Lewis was a don. If that fight was 8 years earlier, the result could have been very, very different. So you've got to be really mindful that Ancelotti could be literally at the end of his career. He might retire after this season.
Like Anderson Silva at the end.
You could make the argument, you could make a claim that you think Arteta is now better than him, but I just don't think, if we're talking career-wise, it's just not a debate, in my opinion. Is Husam a fraud? Yes, but how can a guy think Xavi is the most overrated player and Lampard and Gerrard are better? A better
Question other people's ball knowledge.
Who said Xavi's the most overrated player?
Me.
Footy judgment.
What?
Okay,
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, man.
Oh my
and
God.
we ain't even got time right now to unpack that today. But that is Mo. I feel like
Dang, you're always causing trouble. I noticed this.
if I had a naughty step, I'd be putting you on it, bruv. Like
That's
110%. It's
wild,
crazy. That's as
Wild.
crazy as what Husam said in the group chat yesterday. I want the viewers to hear this. He said in 10 years' time, no one in football will remember who Paul Scholes was.
I have an apartment rent free in your head because I've rattled you for the last 48 hours. It's
So
beautiful.
I offered Husam
Can
a
we
deal.
not go there?
I didn't go there. Notice it wasn't me.
I offered Husam a deal, right? This is how much of a little baby girl he is. I offered him 50% of the entire.
You're rattled.
I offered him 50%.
I'm not a
of the
baby girl. Don't call me a baby girl. I'm a man, but I don't want to make the deal.
baby girl. Baby girl.
No,
Right,
I don't want to
baby
make the
girl.
deal.
Because he made a claim. Teddy, this is what's going to happen. And I said, okay, well, if you're right and no one in 10 years knows who he is, you can have
I said
half,
people remember him because of your shitty lists.
you can have half of the football terrace. And he bottled it.
I
Obviously,
don't want
I'm-
to have the football terrace. I don't
Why,
want
for free? Listen, for a prediction you think's true, you got done, bruv. I
I'm
asked
good.
you,
I'm good. It's okay.
I asked you to stand on point. I asked you to put your money where your mouth is.
Guys, the greatest midfielder in Premier League history never even won his own club's player of the year. That's crazy.
The greatest Premier League midfielder, in your opinion, didn't even win the fucking Premier League. Let's move on.
Nothing wrong with that.
Mo
Keep
is there is. Mo is waffling. We already beat PSG this season.
It's a different team without Osman Dembele and without them playing this way of playing football. Come on, have some shame in the
I hear
corner.
that. If you genuinely believe that the best defense and one of the best midfields in Europe has a 1% chance of beating a poor Real Madrid side, then your football knowledge is worse than my 10-year-old niece.
Agreed. That's why
fine.
Husam was disrespectful.
Yeah. I
By the
agree.
way, LB on my Thursday show reduced it to 6% because Gabriel is out. Just so you
Did
know.
I?
Yes, you did.
LB,
clip
you're
of
getting
it, yeah.
exposed
I
here,
want
bro.
proof of that. I want proof of that. Ain't no way I said that. Ain't no way.
LB,
I
man.
will share that proof
LB,
tomorrow.
yeah.
Don't
Ain't no way.
worry.
I didn't say that. I want proof. You can't
Share
just
proof
say
tomorrow.
these things.
As soon as we heard Gabriel is injured, so I was like, LB, it goes from 10% to what? He's like 6-7%. That's what he said. So
Love
Is that
it.
what I
Love
said?
it. Love it. Big up Husam. Nothing wrong with admitting you got it wrong. Terry is just being weird by spinning it into prophecy bullshit. Man up and have some class. Listen,
Duarte, my brother, big up the terrace community, always backing the Don. Big up to you guys, man. Big up.
absolutely. Keep super chatting away and backing him. Keep doing it. I love it, mate. Keep getting it done with your prophecy. Real Madrid have been trashed this season. The win means nothing.
This is so disingenuous, man. This is so bad. You can't win with this. You can't win. It's like they've got no chance. They've got no chance. Oh, what a rubbish anyway. You're never going to win like that, man. The goalposts always move. So
Yeah.
come on, man. Give some
without a
respect.
doubt.
to
I
what we
felt
did
you're the
last
saltiest twat in history of super chatters.
Mr. Potts, nothing wrong. Who be accountable for the abuse to my manager and gaslighting a whole generation sitting there with video spreading agendas?
Well, you not won anything yet. I just put that
What
out
is
there.
happening here, man? What is
You
happening?
didn't win the trophy last night.
Enjoy the win, man. Enjoy the win. Why the hate so much? We all want to win, and we're winning, and you're still hating on people. You doubted him. You doubted him. He hasn't won anything yet. Calm
He's not
down.
won anything yet.
Calm down. He's won a game. He's great.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not
Enjoy
gonna
it.
lie to you. People always say to me, Terry, why would you like Arsenal to win a Champions League? I tell you now, just watching, and maybe on a few shows, sitting in the middle of the discourse between everyone that said Arteta would never win a major trophy versus everyone who would. I'm not gonna lie. It will be for about, well, maybe for at least 48 hours. It will be Oscar-worthy cinema. It really,
48
will.
hours, more like 3 weeks of Oscar.
One moment.
Are you mad?
Beautiful. It'll be beautiful. Just watching, listen, and it'll be watching some people be humble and admit and admit they got it wrong. Watching others move the goalposts so far, it will just be enjoyable to watch. It really, really will.
I would hire a gal full time. I pay him on a daily basis.
Yeah, literally, I will pay a gal a big amount of money. Just be on the terrace. I want you out here
Every day, just every day.
It's so funny. People say almost or no chance. Isn't that unrealistic?
Thank you,
Some-
AMT.
Sometimes, he's talking about you, mate.
Yeah, no, I know. No,
Yeah.
this is calling out LB because 1% and 6, 7% or 10% is not that big of a difference. No chance and almost is the same shit. That's why he deserves to get sunk.
No.
with me.
No. So don't do this yet. I know what he's doing yet. He knows he's getting cut. So he's trying to drag me down with him. Yeah, I give Arsenal a chance, albeit a small chance. You give him no chance whatsoever. Don't drag me into it, man.
1% is not no chance, so don't be disingenuous.
I love it. This here says LB got more salt than Saxa. Oh yeah, they make salt. First of all, you misspelled Saka. Big up Husam for backing us up. I think we're getting to the final 100%, and with our goal difference, we've got.
Look at the way Husam has spun this, and the chat is lapping it up, man. Yeah, this guy was on his shows last
what can I
week,
do?
yeah.
This is my technical ability, man.
Cooking your football club, right? And when I actually defended Arsenal and said they have got a chance, albeit not a big chance, I come here and say, well, you know, I don't think they've overachieved because they got to a semi-final. And this guy's here saying, oh, yeah, whatever, great stuff. They've done an amazing job, even though they've still not won anything. And the Arsenal fans in the chat are loving it.
Yeah.
Arsenal, big up, Arsenal.
Look at State, man.
Mate, it's so funny. Potts being absurd. Sorry, bro. Trophies incoming is what Jason Martin
I hope so. Please. I
will back Potsy here. I don't think Potsy will do, because I know some Arteta outers will. I don't think Potsy will do this. Yeah, well, we should have won it 2 years ago. It's been taken 6 years to get to this point. Potsy will just say you've won the major trophy. This move forward. I don't think Potsy is going to be one of those people to double down. LB, the Jason Cundy of straight facts. Loser B is what I said here. Elisa says, unfortunately, most can't identify key ingredients to attain success. As in common, most will revisit the journey post-success and still not fully comprehend what it takes to reach the destination. Arsenal's biggest threat is Inter for the Champions League. I agree with everything you've said. The last bit, only if they reach the final when it's Inter. I think they can't look beyond PSG and Villa right now, but I hear you. Everything else you've said, listen, everyone ignores the key ingredients to success, Elisa. And it's one of the best super chats I've ever had on the terrace, because I keep hearing it now. And it's mainly the pundits' fault. Like the pundits and the media lied about net spend for 20 years to audiences. Net spend is not real. They lied to us for years. They lie about the success. Because what you hear at the moment is, oh, look at Villa, man. I wish my team could do what Villa are doing. Or I wish my team could do what Nottingham Forest are doing. And then the media pinpoint it on when they brought in the managers. And they ignore how both clubs for the last 7 to 8 years have been building to this point. And there's been bad signings and bad managerial appointments, but there has been a plan of action to get to this stage. And until the media start educating the masses properly, you're always going to get this. And it doesn't take away from Unai Emery, doesn't take away from Nuno, but you can't just ignore what's been going on behind the scenes for many a year. And you might notice it more in Newcastle. Eddie Howe might leave, another guy comes in and ends up winning a Prem. Doesn't mean because that manager's here, that's the pinpoint for change. The change started the day the new owners came in. So you're spot on, Elisa. You're absolutely spot on there. Please give LB a glass of water for all that salt, is what the Queen of Boss says here. There you go, mate. Got one for you.
Man, you want a football match? Go with a trophy, man.
The great humble Husam Cook, that fraud LB 10%. LB 10%. Are you
got these Arsenal fans in his palm like this, isn't he? He's right, got him like that, haven't you, Husam? He knows how to play the game, man.
LB's head is so rude, bro.
You need to teach me those tactics, bro.
Nothing but smiles here is what Magnus says. Jason says LB is just a hater. City underachieved. Love the tears. Yes, argument. His argument is utter nonsense, then doubles down. It's so frustrating and dishonest. Come on,
you know what's funny is you say my hate.
Bro, LB, Sam really cooked you, bro. He really switched it on you, bro. He really cooked
I know,
you, bro.
And it's honestly, it's a work of art, bro. It was better. Sam's performance on this show today is better than Declan Rice's last night.
He really cooked you, bro. The man is super chat because he opened his mouth while Sam literally disrespected Arsenal.
Sam literally disrespected Arsenal so much, and for some reason the chat is loving him and cooking me. For what? For saying that you've not overachieved for getting to a semi-final. All right.
Will is losing his mind right now. Big up to everyone. I will say Will was one of the only non-Madrid based Madrid fans in the build up to this that expected they might lose and potentially could lose badly as well. So he's the only one that I heard. Not saying the only one who said it, but the only one that I heard. Thank you, Corey. If Arsenal win the Champions League, who's had a better season? Them or Liverpool? Arsenal.
For sure.
Arsenal, of course.
Arsenal.
Arsenal fans won't like that, will they?
I just said Arsenal fans, of course. Champions League is the most luxurious competition you could ever win.
Yeah, I also think it's there's that, and I think again, game state of the season. Game state of the season. By the way, if Spurs win the Europa League, I'm going to put them on the top of that list. By the way, because they're not meant to win anything. Yeah, there we go. Barca and Arsenal final. I need that, is what UK comments says.
Arsenal have a bigger chance against Barcelona than they do Inter.
I agree. I think Arsenal need an attacking team that could leave a bit of space.
Be nice for revenge from 2006, man. We should have beaten them then. So.
I bet it would. But can you imagine straight facts? Or we'll do a special one on the Sunday with Mo on it after you beat, if and when you beat them, Potsy. Can you imagine?
God, that'd be unbelievable.
We'll do.
No, you should ask for triple play.
Are you gonna invite me for a watch along in England?
No,
You're gonna invite me on a watch along in England?
On camera, if Inter and Arsenal get to the final, I don't really use my studio in London, but we'll fly you over from America and we'll get you in to do a watch along in the studio. We'll do that.
All right then. All right then.
You think you'll get to the final, Mo?
Yeah, I think so.
I've just committed to a lot of fucking money there, haven't I? But there we go.
A lot of money, bro.
You're flying economy, no business. I ain't Sky Sports, no business class here. I'm not sending a car to the airport. I'll come pick you up. Do you know what I mean? It'll be one of them ones. You got one of them. This here, because I want to break down some of the players and some of the moments from last night as well, and talk Harry Kane. But I've got to get through these super chats. He says to say Arsenal has overachieved is wrong, as by my logic, if Madrid win the second leg and go through, no one can say Arsenal will bottle it. But this is
quick response to that game-changing scenario. Exactly what Terry's been talking about. Game state. When you're up 3-0, I don't give a shit if you're up 3-0 against 1958 Brazil. You see the job through. End of. Any team against anyone 3-0 up, you've bottled.
If Arsenal now go out, it is a giant bottle job. It's a giant one, and that's again game state. It changes now for this game. Arsenal into final would be monumental for the terrace. Yeah, it'd be crazy. It'd be crazy. I think I'd really enjoy that. That'd be great. It's no longer LB. It's just B because Husam took the L.
This is the W super chat, Tony.
I like it, Tony, my old mate. Question: what's more likely, Real Madrid coming back against Arsenal or Liverpool bottling the league? By the way, Don Husam, have my Jinx blue jacket tonight.
What's more likely? Ready, African sci-fi scholar. It's ready right here. This guy paid me $100 to say in my blue Jinx jacket that Arsenal have no chance against Real Madrid. Sci-fi scholar, I'm don't come just to listen. We'll speak tonight. Don't worry about it.
I will say thank you for the super chat. I still think Real Madrid coming back is more likely than a Liverpool collapse in the league on the basis of probably because against one game. I hope this doesn't happen to Arsenal, but you could concede in the opening minutes, give a penalty away, and someone gets sent off, and then suddenly the game's in trouble. Where it's very unlikely that Liverpool will lose. Like
we'll probably lose 2-0 over there, and it'll be the most horrific last 10 minutes. It's just Arsenal, man. We never do it easy. It's never do it the easy way, man.
Yeah. Bookmakers made Arsenal strong favourites yesterday with a 50% chance of winning. It was only YouTube and X football that were writing them off. Yeah, the bookmakers got it spot on actually for the game. They were really accurate. Arsenal haven't even spent a lot of money. They have a £500 million net spend over 12 transfer windows with 41 million a window. That's pretty much nothing.
We spent a lot of money, bro.
They spent money.
Come on, bro.
Net spend isn't real either. Net spend is not real.
Tarek got the same energy. Let's go.
Of course I keep the same energy. Of course I do. That's why, by the way, I'm releasing another list that you're going to love for Sam. I'm releasing a list for the greatest ever Premier League midfielders to play in the Champions League. Do you know who's number one?
Number one on both should be Stevie anyway.
Well, it might be Stevie because I keep the same logic. But anyway, this here was a call out to me. It's Arsenal, so many points behind in the bad league, destroying Madrid, who lost every big game this season by a miss. It carries on and says, will be interesting to hear Terence's, I think he means, a narrative on this one. No doubt he will keep the same energy. Okay, you're referring to it being a poor Premier League season. Part of the reason why I've said it's been a poor Premier League season is because there's been a lack of entertainment. Teams haven't won enough games on the bounce. There hasn't been enough jeopardy. Teams haven't gone on great runs. Cup football is very different. Cup football is very different. And last night, the group stage of the Champions League have been absolutely amazing. No one can deny that, or the league stage. What Arsenal did last night is literally something that has made it. Now, for instance, if Liverpool were to have a little mini collapse and Arsenal won their last few games and you had like a top 4 race where Newcastle and Villa didn't lose another game for the rest of the season as an example, and City and Chelsea missed out, you may still argue the quality's poor. That's a fair thing. But from an entertainment point of view, everybody would be far more engaged. So I think there's a combination of those two things there, my friend. This here from Dio, he says, Husam, you said we will still not beat any of the Madrids. You said we had no chance. You said, and I quote, it's over. Just don't show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was wrong, and I admit I was wrong. Well done, Far.
I was wrong. I was wrong. I admit I was wrong.
Unlike you, I admit when I'm wrong.
Oh, love me, Arsenal, love me. You never.
Unlike you, I admit when I'm wrong.
You accepted that you was wrong, so we like you.
LB's so rattled because the chat is cooking him, not me. He's so
yeah, no,
annoying.
because the chat just go.
When
oh,
you leave at
Sam's,
5 p.m., I'm gonna
Sam's
deflect
sitting there
the pot
saying,
to you
oh,
as
I
well.
got it wrong, so it's okay
Potts
now.
is next. I promise you. Potts is next. Don't worry, I come ready.
Con Husam, the master manipulator, getting away with slagging off Arsenal just by saying he was wrong and they overperformed. LB gave credit, man. So you got him back to you about.
Wow, Husam said 1%, LB said 6%.
Come on, man. I put that super chat back up on the screen, man. What's it called? Abraham.
He unstarred it.
My dog. Come
I did
on, bro.
unstar it. Sorry, I can't know where it is now. Hang on, no, I found it. Found it. We got a lot of
bro. Come on, man.
This here from Femi. Femi says, LB, we are picking on you and not Husam because you are the worst of the two terrible.
Wow.
Go on, Femi. Go on, Femi. That's my brother right
Get off
there.
the screen, man. Get off
Hold
the
that,
screen,
LB.
bro.
Big up, Femi. Big up.
Imagine.
He called you a devil, you know.
It's all right.
Yeah. I'm Leicester Devil, though, so hold on.
Imagine 0% cooking, 10%. That is
Actually,
fun.
it's 1% cooking, 6%. So get your facts.
Where is Will? I don't know where Will is, but he was on last night and man was not happy. Respect to you all. My question to you all, can we say that the 15 times Real Madrid has won the Champions League was well-deserved and expected?
Not always. Not always.
I
Always
don't
the best
minimize
team wins it.
anyone's trophy win. And this is why Igal, I'm going to ruin his life now next time we work together. Because the same way he undermined my league trophy, I'm going to undermine his Champions League. And this is just to Igal, not to Arsenal. This is just to him specifically. I'm going to say this is the worst Champions League ever, Mr. Igal. Because the 8th team in Bundesliga is in the quarterfinal. And this team is here. And Bayern have a Burnley relegated manager. And Manchester City and Liverpool aren't in the Champions League. Aston Villa beat Club Brugge, Igal. So don't worry, Gal. I got you.
Absolutely. I'm going to come back to them super chats in a minute. We were actually on the, because I start at times 18 minutes in, we started speaking about Declan Rice's free kicks. It got hijacked, and we're now here an hour into the show, and they got no more talk. They were brilliant, and I think we all know this. And listen, to have them back to back in the same game of that quality. I know other people. Yeah, he scuffed them. I know a few other people have scored 2 free kicks in the game, but I don't think I've ever seen 2 in a game of that quality. But I want to speak a bit about Miles Lewis-Skelly, but first I wanted to speak on Bukayo Saka because he came back in, Potsy, and a lot of Arsenal fans were fuming. He's being rushed back. Why is he coming? First of all, is that now seen as a good decision to bring him back? And secondly, did he demonstrate last night why he should be looked at as one of the best wingers in the world?
So Bukayo Saka, people will say there was not one of his best games. He wasn't involved in quite a lot. What Bukayo Saka does is he always creates moments. He always creates opportunities, or he always scores or assists. And last night he was fouled for the 2 free kicks that Declan Rice scored. So people will say, "Oh, you can't say that means he had a good game." Bukayo Saka is like 40% fit at the moment. We've got no striker. We've got Gabriel out. That's the reason why, in my opinion, we did kind of shock last night because everyone ruled us out. Bukayo Saka, I think he is up there with one of the best right wingers in the league. Yeah. I think when he was out, I think people appreciate it even more.
In the league or the world?
Say again.
In the league, you said the best one of the best right wingers in the league. Are you talking the league or are you talking the world?
No, I think he's up there right now in the world. I think Salah and Yamal and players like that are Rodrygo probably going to be ahead of him. But I think he's in the top 5 wingers. I think a lot of people, they had unlimited money for his age, would look at him and go, yeah.
Rodrygo ahead of him.
Yeah, I think Rodrygo probably is just about.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think Rodrygo probably is. Last night he wasn't great though, was he? But yeah, I would say that Saka is right up there, man. I'm a big fan, and I love the kid. Miles Lewis-Skelly deserves a mention. 18 years old, taking his chance in the first team, taking his call up to England, scored on his debut. Now he's got a Champions League game, and he's putting a performance like that against Real Madrid. No one's talking about him.
You know what? I can't believe Potts here. How there was literally people saying that Arsenal should not play Saka in this game.
No.
Why? Why not? Your season is literally the Champions League, and that's it. You're not in any other trophy. Like, this is it. Why on earth would you not play Saka?
Yeah, I was actually one of them that did say that, and I'm in the panel on my show. 3 or 4 of the others were saying no. I think there was only me, Hooks, and one more that said we got to play him because this is it. Real Madrid or we're out. So I would have done that. Not so fussed if he doesn't play in the league games every single game for me, but it was the right decision to play him, man. The kid's ridiculously good. Martinelli, I think, has actually been a lot better the last couple of games as well, which is really good to see. I still have question marks on Odegaard. But the two that needed a mention last night ahead of Miles Lewis-Skelly as well is Timber and Partey. Sorry, man. How good are them two? My goodness.
Was very good, man.
Thomas
was very good.
He was absolutely outstanding. And Timber, coming up against the front three in the world at the best, whatever people want to call it. Timber has been consistently good all season, man. One-on-one defending is outstanding. And you look at what he's done consistently now after an ACL injury. Man, I think the guy is just an absolute robot. He is phenomenal, man. I think he's been one of the best fullbacks in the league this season for Arsenal. And I think he showed last night why he's so important, man. So, yeah, Partey and Timber deserve a mention. Lewis-Skelly getting a lot of stick in the criticism and the press and the media. I don't quite know why. Oh, he's got a discipline problem. He's horrible. He's a scumbag. He's an 18-year-old. What's all this about? Like, let's just be real, man. The guy's been phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And
this
Declan
is
Rice,
why comparing individuals using trophies is always going to be like just wrong for me, because Saka is so much better than Rodrygo. I have no idea how people don't see this. Like, Saka this season, Vinicius Jr. has been shit for 4 months. By the way, it's very funny over the last 24 hours. The energy that people showed Salah after PSG, including this ginger fraud next to me. They're not showing Vinicius. They're not showing Mbappe. They're not showing Rodrygo, who got absolutely pocketed by that Arsenal back four. Timber, Lewis-Skelly, Saliba, and Kivior. Ballon d'Or Mbappe could not score a goal past Jacob Kivior, who 3/4 of the Arsenal fans want sold. Let me speak. Let me talk. Now you both waffled. Now let me talk. So you have to show the same energy since you hold them at such a high standard. Rodrygo is better than Saka, said it's LB. More LB. Like and subscribe, guys. Rodrygo is better than Saka. I think Rodrygo is clear of Saka, he said. Rodrygo got pocketed on both flanks, had zero impact on the game whatsoever, could not get past his fullback, did absolutely nothing. This is why pre-game, even though I did say Madrid will win, I said Saka's better than Rodrygo for this exact reason right here. If you think that Madrid are so much more superior than Arsenal, which I agree with you on, if I put Saka on the Madrid team, they would have just as many Champions Leagues. They would have just as many La Ligas, maybe perhaps more, because Saka's more consistent. Rodrygo, whether you like it or not, I'm not an eye test guy. I'm not a stats guy. I'm in the middle. I use eye test and I use stats.
My God.
Whether we like it or not, you cannot ignore stats. You cannot ignore stats on a forward. Rodrygo has 11 GA in 27 La Liga games.
Okay. Can I just say something really quickly on this, right? What you do, you can think Saka's better than Rodrygo, you can think Rodrygo's better than Saka. It's always a fair conversation. But what you do with the trophies argument is you misrepresent how it has been put across.
I talked to LB, by the way. I was talking to him.
Well, I'm talking now. So the point I'm making is this, right? The point I'm making,
we're gonna give him an out.
The point is, there's no out here, right? And I've just got to say, it's because I hear it on Sky Sports all the time. You are right. If Saka was in the Real Madrid squad over the last 5 years, he'd have Champions League medals to his name. No one is arguing having a trophy or a medal makes you a better player. People argue delivering in the performances, being one of the standout players, like Saka was last night in a knockout game. If Saka does this in one or two of the semi-final games and then does that in the final, and he is a pivotal role in them winning the Champions League, it enhances his legacy and it shows he can deliver in the major games. The same as Harry Kane last night in another massive knockout game, fluffed his lines, missed an amazingly, I think, simple chance for a striker with his ability. We know his technique. We know his ability. He scores that goal, by the way, this week when he plays Cologne, whoever the fuck they're playing in the Bundesliga. He scores that in a dead rubber game against Burnley in the He scores that, by the way, in the dead rubber game against Man City in the Premier League. But it's about delivering when it matters. So when you look at Rodrygo, and what you also did that's wrong is I am not playing down a single Arsenal player last night. If you watch my match reaction, I praised them all. What I'm not going to do, though, is suddenly go, because Rodrygo had a bad night and got pocketed, I'm not going to undo the dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of other games where I've seen him kill it. For instance, what he did to Man City in this competition a few years ago with those clutch moments. And we can't overlook all of this. And that's why when it comes to the trophy conversation, and I'm not even saying who's better and who's worse. Career-wise, Rodrygo's done more and achieved more. I love Bukayo Saka. And if I had to choose between the two, I'd probably pick Saka. But you misrepresent the trophy argument. No Man United fan thinks Jonathan Greening is a legend because he has a Champions League winners medal. No one thinks that.
You're going down a pathway that has nothing to do with what I said. Me and LB did a stream before the game happened. LB said Rodrygo is clear of Saka. That's the thing that I'm debating. Potts just said he thinks Rodrygo is better than Saka. So I'm debating that. I think Saka's better than Rodrygo.
Listen,
I'm giving my examples why. When we're looking at a forward line player, I understand what you're saying with Harry Kane. I get it because he's not clutch. Bukayo Saka's had one knockout stage Champions League game before this, only one, and he scored against Bayern. So like he literally scored a goal against Bayern. So he done something because it was only his first ever time in the Champions League. Come back a year later, he's playing against Real Madrid. He performed. My problem was LB's statement before the game. That's why I'm saying I'm stopping you from going down a path that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
What was wrong with my statement?
LB said Rodrygo is clear of Saka. So I'm pulling him up on that. I'm saying Saka is better than Rodrygo. And yesterday is one of the examples why just because you win trophies does not necessitate that you're better than player X.
So I understand that, but I think it has nothing to do with trophies. I wouldn't, if someone thinks Rodrygo's better, fair enough. I wouldn't say he's clear because clear for me, again, it's definitions, right? I think Saka is clear of Anthony. That's what I consider clear of a player where they're nowhere near you. I think both of them are of a very, very, very high level. And there's a difference.
Yeah, Saka's a good player, Terry. Yeah, but Rodrygo for me is a better player. Rodrygo has done it, like you said.
Be honest.
Yeah, but clear is different. LB. Clear is
you're arguing semantics. I think he's a better player than him.
You said clear. Say it clear. Why are you shy?
He's a clear player. For me, he's a clearly better player than Saka.
Yeah. So he's clear of Saka in your opinion.
In my opinion, Rodrygo is clearly a better player than Saka.
No. So he's clear of Saka.
Yeah, Sam, how many players are better than Saka in your opinion in his position?
Better than Saka in world football right now? Mo Salah. Dembele. I don't think Yamal is yet. I'm going Dembele. I'm going Salah, and I'm going probably Vinny Jr. Mbappe as well.
Ahmad.
Yes, guys. Yes.
Let me get involved.
Garnacho, Xerxes.
Big up, Sam.
You know the world, the people. The problem with the
Foden, better than Palmer.
The problem with the word clear, LB, is that people take it as you think that. For example, it's the difference between, let me just say, as Terry said, for Madueke, for example, and Yamal.
Like that's their problem, not my problem, is it? That's not my problem.
It is because the word clear means you are in a completely different world.
I think, but Rodrygo has done it on the biggest stage to win major honours.
But Saka hasn't even had a chance to do it on the big stage.
Which is why I've said plenty of times to Saka.
Let LB finish, please.
When he starts doing it on the big stage and winning honours and impacting his country or his club winning trophies, that's when you start putting him on that stage and going, Fair dues.
This is
But do
why
you think
though,
Kvaratskhelia is better, for example? Would you take Kvaratskhelia or
Actually,
Saka?
that's
Your
where I
club?
forgot. I put Kvara above Saka.
Okay.
I rate Kvara very highly.
LB, would you take Kvaratskhelia at your club or would you take Saka?
I'm taking both at my club. They're both better than my
No,
wingers.
if you have to choose one.
I would probably take. I mean, I'd take either of them, bro. There's not much in between. I like them both. I'd take them both.
And that's
but this is the thing is with this conversation. This is why I think I think where people have to make definitions is: do you mean better technically or ability wise, or are you talking legacy overall? Because legacy has to be partly dictated by what you've achieved, what you have done on the biggest stage, how you have delivered. It has to be. You can't ignore that.
Correct.
However, this is what I was saying the other day when someone called out my logic. It's hard when you're comparing players that are still in the middle or at the early stages of their career because it's going to change over time, unless you're Harry Kane. And it will change a little bit with him winning the Bundesliga this year. But he frustrated me last night because I want him to do so well, Harry Kane. And just every time that guy is in a big knockout game in his life, he just seems to consistently, not every game, he's scored a few for England, but it just more often than not, that fucker doesn't deliver. And he gets on,
and that's why he's not in that. That's why for me, Harry Kane, as amazing as a goal scorer he is not up there with the elite level strikers of the last 20 years. He's nowhere near it for me. If you're talking just about goal scoring, yeah, cool. But as an actual player, nowhere near. Because whenever this guy gets an opportunity to deliver, he doesn't do it. Now, Saka hasn't really had that opportunity too much. He had it 2 years ago when he ballooned a penalty or whatever against West Ham. You know, not great. Do you know what I'm saying? But if Arsenal start getting to the latter stages of the Champions League and start getting in title races, he starts winning stuff, then fair dues. But I don't judge him of what he's doing. And Rodrygo's done it in the Champions League, scored major goals to help Real Madrid win Champions Leagues.
Legacy and ability are different conversations for me. But again, I blame the mainstream media because their whole lives, they've merged those two conversations together. And this is what's crazy. And I mean this as a compliment, Arsenal fans. If Saka performs in the remaining Champions League games this season, how he did against Madrid last night, and you go on to win it, trust me, the way even the way you will perceive him as an Arsenal player and legend will change the second you lift that trophy. You will feel it and you will see it. It is a different level, especially you youngsters that haven't seen even a league title be won. There's a different feeling and a different emotion. You know, I speak to some of the older United fans who loved watching United in the 80s, but it didn't win very much. The way they felt about that group, with the Cantonars and co winning the Premier Leagues, they left them behind in terms of legacy, ability, status within the game. And I just think it's important to frame the conversations. That's all. Comment here says that Vinny in Timber's penitentiary. There we go. Rodrygo in MLS's pocket. Mbappe in Kivior's locker. By the way, I thought MLS was amazing last night. All of them. But the one I want to probably give the most... Lewis Skelly probably gets the most credit because of his age and the shit he's getting in the media. But the fact Kivior, no one wanted him playing. And he started off... There's a couple of dodgy passes, weren't there, where you think, Madrid are going to be him. He really... he turned it around, did brilliantly.
All of them were brilliant, man. All of them were brilliant at the back line.
Husam is right regarding Saka and Rodrygo. Rodrygo has been coached by world-class coaches. Who is Saka's?
Big up MT.
I love Saka, man. I love Saka. So I've got no. If people want to big him up, go for it. Do what you've got to do. I love him.
MLS has more dribbles than Rodrygo and Vinny. He was great on the ball as well last night, wasn't he?
Yeah,
like the way he composed himself. And there was a couple of these passes where if the touches were better from your attackers early on in the game, he's cutting through them. It was so good.
Fearless.
Saka has 97 goals and assists in the Premier League. Rodrygo has 48 goals, assists in La Liga. As an Arsenal fan, how dare you disrespect our star boy like that?
Go on, Albo.
Him at all. I'm not disrespecting him. I don't think it's a disrespect to put Bukayo Saka in the top 5 wingers in the world. I don't think that's a disrespect at all, man. I think that's unbelievable for what he's done at 23 and where he's carried us in the last few years. I think he's been phenomenal, man. So, yeah, there's definitely not
I
me.
actually don't think they are actually on the same table at all. When watching both players, I actually don't think they are on the same table. I think Saka's clear over Rodrygo. Rodrygo's a good player. But wallah, I'm being serious. Rodrygo has done it in a good round. Yes, he come out clutch a couple of times, scoring headers and everything. So is Husam for Real Madrid. He came clutch for Real Madrid against Bayern Munich. It's fine. Who gives a shit, bro? You play for the best team in the world. You have the best players around you. You have the best PR machine in the world.
No. So what you're doing now, you're penalising Rodrygo.
Let me finish. Yes, if Saka's playing in a wayward side, in a coach that is still novice, he's still learning his game, and I think him carrying that team, which is all of us here agree that Saka is Arsenal's best player. He has. Yet they haven't won the title, but it's not his fault. He has had 2 seasons back-to-back.
Not his fault.
More than 20
who missed a penalty against West Ham a few years ago.
So you're going to put it down to... By the way, Roberto Baggio missed a penalty for Italy in the World Cup.
No, you said it wasn't
Him
his fault.
losing the World Cup is not his fault.
Against West Ham 2 years ago, in a big game, he had a penalty to score, and he didn't score.
So he had a penalty to score. That what's it called? Diminish everything that he has done all season because he missed a penalty.
I'm not.
All the big players.
You're the guy who said
it. Bro.
You're the one who said it's not his fault. I'm just pointing out the fact that he had a penalty that he missed. That
But see, he lost the title. They lost the title not because he missed that penalty. Why didn't Arsenal make other chances in this game? What about the other chances that the other forwards missed in this game?
There were 2.
Are you going to put every big player in the history of the sport miss penalties?
You raised the point, not me. You said he's not his fault. I'm saying factually.
And I'm responding to what you said. And I'm responding to what you said. What about the other chances then?
If he scores that penalty, they probably win the league.
Might not. Yes, might not.
Big Romano news, by the way. Big Romano breaking news.
Hang on, let's have a little look at this big breaking news from.
Sam will be happy, man. Sam will be happy.
Oh, is it what we think it's going to be? Man? Mo Salah closing in on a new Liverpool deal. Agreement now in the final stages.
That's another player that LB said Rodrygo's clear of. Mo Salah running down the wing. Let's go. I'm alive.
FSG in. They've got it done. You're going to thank you're going to apologize to your owners like you've asked Dan Potts to apologize to Arteta now because they've got something good done. You've got to follow. You've got to have the same energy as a good, honest man. Yes.
Next time the United sign someone, I'm asking you to be Glazers in so you can start screaming again on stream.
I will praise the Glazers for the good things they've done still. Yes. So
I've praised FSG for good things they've done too, but I'm just FSG out because they haven't done enough.
Just praise them now. Praise them.
No,
come on.
What?
Yeah.
Can I just be happy? Can you stop controlling how people can react to news? Like, it's just the best player in the league is staying.
That is all you've done to LB this whole show is try to control the way he...
Okay, you want to know why I did that? So the show starts, I take my L, I get clipped up, I say, guys, I was wrong, I give respect to Arsenal. LB comes in like he did not say 6% before the game. Dan Potts comes in like he's not Arteta out, and I'm sat here, I ain't gonna think by myself. So I brought them both with me. So guess what? We're all sinking now. All 3 of us are drowning in the ocean. So hold that.
I hear you on that, mate. I do. Go Salah, no goals from open play in any final.
Henry has 0 goals from open play in any final. He's the goal of the Prem.
Yeah, but do you know what? We said go to the Prem. But what I will say about all these little things we spoke about, like legacies, the games you score in, when it comes to nitpicking amongst the best, these things really do matter. They really, when you're finalizing the greatest strikers ever, the greatest wingers ever, that's where these things really come into the conversation. Kai Havertz came clutch for Chelsea. Do we rate him as one of the best? No, but this is what you're doing, Nima. You're nitpicking here. You're nitpicking a specific part of what's being said. So Kai Havertz's levels didn't continue to get better and better. He hasn't dominated. He's not doing what Rodrygo's been a brilliant winger for the last few years. We obviously know what Saka's doing. It's those clutch moments, if those players have them as well, like it's adding it. So when it comes to, you look at the top 10 Premier League midfielders of all time, no one in there lacks on ability. No one in there lacks on trophies overall. No one in there lacks on clutch moments or consistent top-level displays. What I wouldn't do is take an obscure player like Ben Watson, who scored in an FA Cup final, and because of that, put him in the top 10. You can't do that. It's about the overall package.
None of them lack on individual awards either.
No. I mean, individual awards, no one cares about them. Only you. What's baffling is that fans will say La Liga is weak because of the huge gap between the top 2 teams and lower ones. But in the same breath, the EPL is also weak because lower teams have lowered the gap. Which one is it then?
This is the thing, Aya. The Premier League is the strongest league in the world and best league in the world. And
yes, but it's about 2 things to be right at the same time, Aya. So it could still be considered the strongest league in the world, but be low by its own standards. So you could be the fastest man in the world at the in the world in a year, win the Olympics, but you might not be in the top 50 runners of all time in terms of speed, but you're still the fastest in the world at the moment, and you're still the Olympic champion. Like, things can be a little bit more nuanced, I feel, my friend. Congrats to Liverpool for keeping a great player in the EPL. It probably is a really good thing it is probably a good thing for the EPL, really.
Based on the Premier League, of course, it's good.
Terry, but doesn't ability contribute to legacy? Well, it's on the 4 pillars. Yes, ability, consistency and longevity, output, influence on winning trophies. Those are the 4 pillars that I believe matter the most in football.
Gerard beats calls on all 4, by the way. Big up.
If you believe it, you believe it. You keep having to say it. I don't.
He has better stats, better ability, and he's influenced his team more, factually.
No, so the second one's opinion, but this is a problem, right? And I'm just going to say, last thing I'm going to say in this debate with you is very simple. I don't. This is what. This is why.
Can we move on, Terry? Why do you have to get the last word?
Just because it's my shows and I can. So, from my view, it's this, right? I don't have to flag off and diminish and lie about Steven Gerrard to prop up people that I think are as good or are better than him. What you said about Scholes is that no kid wanted to be him when he was a kid. You said that he hasn't influenced Man United winning any trophies. He was an also run. And you also said nobody was praising him and giving him props in his pomp. It was an afterthought. All 3 of those things are either lies and you can't prove them. So for me, you lose the debate, but you're allowed to think what you want. That's the last thing I'm going to say on it. This here says Saka, the limp merchant, overrated GA merchant is what someone.
You rep Jeremy Doku, have some shame.
You're repping Jeremy Doku. It's just the.
No, big up Jeremy Doku to go, man.
Dan, what's your prediction? Dan, what was your prediction for Arsenal Madrid in the first leg?
I thought we'd lose 2-1 last night. That was what I went for.
You mug, mate. You mug.
No, what a fraud. What a disgrace.
How dare you? How dare you? I bet there was a little bit of that last night for people. You shouldn't celebrate. Which free kick was better? Which free kick was better? I think the second one.
Second one.
Yeah, second one.
That second one was just unbelievable.
It's the definition of top bins. You can't get more in the top corner than it was. It was amazing. Bias aside, looking good for England. Yeah, which hopefully the manager can get our players to play, mate. Why isn't Potts getting cooked? Was very negative, is what Joseph says here.
Tell him, Joseph.
I'm very negative. I'm a negative man. Don't deserve to be happy when Arsenal win. I'm very sad because we won. That's how it works.
Don't you think you jinxed it by predicting a 0 to 1% chance, Sam?
I don't believe in the football gods. I don't believe in jinxing. I just speak my opinion. That's why I'm the longest surviving Straight Facts member. That's why, alhamdulillah, I'm closing on 50k subs, because I just speak my mind. I don't sit on the fence. I'm
going to talk to you about that after the show. I want to get your opinion on something. It's a serious question I've got for you, but I don't want to speak about it publicly because it's a private conversation. Where were your apologies, Dan? Then where are your apologies? Apologize,
apologizing about. I don't understand what I'm apologizing about, really, but
for being a fake Arsenal fan. For being a fake Arsenal fan.
I'm sorry that I thought we'd lost and we won. I'm terribly upset and I'm gutted. I've been devastated all evening. I've not been able to sleep. It's been horrendous winning 3-0. And this really should be a Spurs shirt. Go and support Tottenham. You're negative.
Husam, you were biased. Call it what it is. It's don't call it wrong.
I'm not biased. I just think Madrid were gonna beat Arsenal. Fucking hell, that's not biased. I'm wrong.
LB, big up, nice try, but you're in Don's pocket.
It's like Timber and Rodrygo. Let's go. Big up, man.
Saka is better than Rodrygo, and big up to the panel is what Propaganda Machine says here. Thank you very much indeed. I appreciate that. A really, really generous donation here from Aya, that says, if we're going to nitpick trophies between Saka and Rodrygo, then we have to nitpick other aspects. Rodrygo plays for the Galacticos. Opposition teams watch 3 other players besides Rodrygo. Saka often plays alone, but still produces. Am I wrong or right?
You're right.
It's a very fair, again, this is the thing. It's a fair argument. And it's one thing I would say about most of these debates when it comes down to individual players is the majority of people that want to debate them often will try to push the debate down a corridor for an argument that goes in favor of that their favorite player of the two, but they want to keep it in that realm because they win that sector of the argument. and they want to pretend like there aren't other factors. Like, I can't believe someone just said to me about the 4 ways I rate players. Well, what about ability? When I very clearly, every time I talk about it, state that ability is functioning.
Can I ask you a straightforward question, Terry? Forget all the debates we've had. Just purely your honest opinion. Yesterday, take Saka out from Arsenal, put him at Real Madrid. Do you think the game ends 3-0 on a real?
Take him out of the Arsenal team.
Swap them. So make Rodrygo the Arsenal right winger, make Saka the right winger for Madrid. Do you think that they win the game 3-0?
Potentially, if Rodrygo performed individually, because what they have at Arsenal, though, and Saka's part of this, I think they have a better, and they showed it last night, there is a better foundation in terms of the coaching and the drilling. He's a more modern manager. So they had this baseline to work from. I think as well, if you took the front three of Madrid last night and put them in the Arsenal team, and reversed it, and you had Saka playing a side that didn't have as good a structure, I think that Arsenal could have won 7 or 8-0 last night because of that. And so this is the thing, you can make these arguments in every single direction. What I know is that Bukayo Saka was excellent last night and he delivered. What I also know is Rodrygo had a poor game by his standards. But at the same time, I won't do to Rodrygo the same as I wouldn't do it to Saka. If Saka has a bad game next, I'm not going to undo all the great games Saka's had in his career. I think we try and do that so much.
I think Madrid would at least scored a goal had Saka been there, because I think he just influences games more. Even though Rodrygo does it in like more high pressure moments, I understand he will be more clutch than Saka, but Saka does it more consistently.
I get that. Rodrygo didn't get the opportunities last night, but let's look at the front three entirely. I mean, Mbappe should have scored. He went clean for on goal.
I agree.
And he hit it straight at it was a good save by Raya, but he hits it straight at him. We all expected it to bury into the far corner. He scores that. The whole game could have been different for everybody. But yeah, look, Rodrygo had a bad game last night.
Sorry, I've got a dip, man. I got a
all
dip.
Right, brother. No worries, man.
I your chat, big up, man. You cooked me in it. I hold it.
Hold the mate.
Yeah, I hold the on, man.
Welcome to the Don Husam Penitentiary.
This here says genuine. Is Carlo finished?
No, he's not fucking finished. They're literally like top of La Liga, I think.
At Real Madrid.
No. Even then, no. Because they could still win La Liga this season.
Not a successful manager, man. I don't know why he's getting this. He's lost to Arsenal and now all of a sudden he's a waster. I don't get it, man. It's crazy for me.
They're 4 points behind Barca. Easily win the league over there. Come on.
Standards FC must be in a bit of a weird conundrum today, because they all love Ancelotti and Real Madrid. The team they hate the most have just beaten them. They must not know what the fuck to do with themselves. They're in this weird paradox at the moment, I think, Standards FC. I haven't seen many of them on Twitter or anything. Real Madrid have a pecking order. Rodrygo is 4th. Not fair. I don't know what you mean. You need to unpack what you mean by pecking order and what's not fair about it. I don't get it. Arsenal fans singing "Are You Tottenham in Disguise" was shameful for Madrid. Tell I have no voice and I have 3 meetings at work today. Well, brother, enjoy it. I've listened. Well,
that's world-class banter. I love that.
That was great. That was great. I hope they understand the irony. I hope they all understood the irony of it and the brilliance of it, because it was comedy gold. 30 million for Delap. Yeah, just news came out a little while ago. Thank you, Joshua. KJ actually put in the group chat that Leon Delap has a release clause falls to 30 million in the event that Ipswich are relegated from the Premier League.
That's a steal for any team. Yes.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's a very, very, very good piece of business. That I wanted to ask you guys. We haven't really spoke Bellingham or Mbappe. They were both. They had a couple of little moments in the first, in the second half, playing the ball to each other, but they had very quiet nights by players of their standard, gentlemen, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh, I think it's out of 10.
About Mbappe?
Yeah.
Bro, Mbappe is so overrated, bro. Like, Mbappe as a footballer is so overrated. I'm being serious, by the way.
I want to know. See, I know what to do.
He is quick and everything. He can finish a couple of things. Bro, like, the guy cannot lace Thierry Henry's boots, for example. And Thierry Henry is one of Arsenal's best players, but he's not even Arsenal's best player in the history. There's Michel Platini, there is Zidane, there are other players in the France history that are better than Henry. And Mbappe is not even cannot lace Thierry Henry. Yes, he did it in the World Cup in the biggest stage, but I'm talking about overall performances. Yesterday, he fluffed his line when the chance came to him, to be honest. I think he's good. I don't think he's a bad player. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I think people put him in the conversation. I can name you probably from 30 to 50 players in the history of the sport that will come before him, and that would not be an exaggeration. Even more than this, 50 players better than him in the history of the sport. That's why when I say that Mbappe is good, but he's not what you think he is. basically Luis Suarez is miles clear of him as a striker, miles clear of him. Lewandowski is better than him as a striker. There are a lot of people that are better than him. People that haven't watched football back in the days, there are a lot of players that are better than him in world football. I don't think he's that good anyway. And for Vinny Jr. as well, I know you want to talk about Vinny Jr., but Vinny Jr. is closer to Willian than he is to Ronaldinho, for example, as a winger, to be honest with you. I'm being serious, bro. The way he plays football, he's closer to Willian than Ronaldinho, Ronaldinho was one of the alternate wingers, to be honest.
Do you not think, though, Potsy, then this feeds into the argument you gentlemen had 2 weeks ago? If the guy that comes second in the Ballon d'Or is closer to Willian than Ronaldinho, does it show that the overarching quality of football players has dropped if one of the best in the world is now of old-fashioned Willian standard?
I've been trying to say this, that the talent pool has gone and that the league is not what it used to be. But, you know, I was told that no, I'm wrong. And it's a great competitive league that's brilliant.
But the level of talent, then you've watched Arthur back in the days with all those. There's a lot of good strikers that played football. With all due respect to people.
I agree with you. I agree
bro,
with you.
I've watched freaking Andy Cole and Dwight York turn, bro, they tore teams apart as two strikers. People just don't know because people are young and they haven't watched strikers, bro. We haven't even, like, I promise you, I haven't even spoken about Thierry Henry or Batistuta or these guys. Bro, the strike he had yesterday, the problem is people, the way he falls offside, Mbappe, it shows you the lack of football IQ that this guy has. Vinny Jr. yesterday,
I happen to agree with you. I don't think he's anywhere near. Ridiculous. I don't think he's near Thierry Henry. I don't think he's near R9. I don't think he's near those kind of guys. I think he's a quality player. I think he's top quality. But
for this generation, yes, for this generation, he's probably one of the best.
Absolutely.
Mbappe would have been by the way, guys, Mbappe would have called a speedy winger a Robert Perez with all due respect to Robert Perez. Mbappe would have been the Robert Perez of that generation. People that haven't watched Robert Perez, is fantastic. Perez is better. Robert Perez is a fantastic footballer. I've watched Robert Perez. He's absolutely amazing. Kylian Mbappe is he in that generation over the 2000s would be the Robert Perez of that generation. Would be the Robert Perez of that generation.
Oh, don't exaggerate. First of all, this has
you are too young to watch Robert Perez play football. You're too young to watch Robert Perez. You haven't watched Robert Perez play in Euro 2000s or play for Arsenal in the early 2000s. You haven't. Robert Perez was an electric winger. You were 5 years old. You won't remember that.
No,
you were 5 years old.
I was like.
That's why I'm saying Euro 2000. You weren't.
ART Sports.
The problem is people haven't watched enough of football back in the days.
Sam's younger than I thought, man. And Sam's younger than I thought.
He's a baby. Sam's a baby. He's a baby.
Yeah, he is. He is, man. I didn't realize that.
And then next stream, when it suits him, Terry will go like, "Oh, you look really old, Husam."
No, but you're a baby in age, but you look proper old. Like they're
I
both
don't look old at all. I look fresh. I look young.
You look older than us lot, but you're 10 years younger. It's crazy.
There is no way I look older than you. You look 56. No exaggeration. Now back to the topic. Listen.
It's better than looking like Rolf Harris. Do you know what I mean? So
that's a movie star. Now back to the.
Don't pick up Rolf Harris. Don't pick him up. Don't pick him up.
I don't know what the fuck he's done, but he's like on TV or something. I don't even know who Rolf Harris is. Now back to the topic. When it comes to this conversation, look. Here's the thing that I want to say to what Terry said. I've already, even 2 weeks ago when we had the debate, even by the way, last Monday we had this debate. Me and Mo both agreed that the individual talent was better back in the day. No one has denied that once. All we're saying is the league right now is more competitive, and the reason for that is the mid-table clubs. And me and Mo gave the examples of the Forests and the Brightons and the Bournemouth. That's the reason why the league is stronger. If you're talking individuals and purely individual talent, then individually they were better back then, 100%. But we're talking about right now there are better coaches. Right now there are better structures. It's more about team than individual. That's the thing that maybe makes the league more competitive now and a lot more fun to watch if you would like. As an example, you just beat Madrid 3-0. The same team almost couldn't beat Everton. You get me? And you might even lose to Brentford this weekend.
Yeah, look, listen. I think that's why we were saying earlier about like players' legacy versus ability. I feel like is the talent less now versus are things competitive and entertaining? I sometimes feel like they're different debates, but they often get crossed over, if that makes sense. But viewers, give us your thoughts, give us your opinions on, because you could argue that if you have like two boxers in an era, two heavyweights that are the greats of all time, but everybody else is miles below them, it could be quite a boring era because they win every fight. Where you could have 6 fighters nowhere near that level, but they're all really close to each other's standard, and you go for a 5-6 year period where they all fight each other and the fights are close and amazing. So it could be more entertaining, even though the standard is slightly lower. And I do think these things can coexist. Fans associate league quality with top teams' ability to raise the ceiling by completely miss the factor of lower teams raising the floor. That's a very good point.
I agree with that.
To me, Robert Perez, my favorite box-to-box player, is what AMT says. Yeah, he was very
Perez
good.
was unbelievable, man.
He
Absolutely incredible.
He gave us nightmares. He gave us nightmares at United. Big up, Mo. Would you swap Thuram or Martinez for Mbappe?
Yes.
You were very
I
good.
literally just stated that he's one of the best in this generation. This is the pool we have now.
Yeah. I agree. You were very good last night, though. Were you impressed with your team last night? I haven't really touched on too much, but you were very good last night.
Very impressed. I think Inzaghi is one of the best coaches in the world, and people don't understand that we can win games playing with 40% position. Because in this game, we had more position than Bayern in the first half, and we completely just gave them the ball, and we still won the game. Inzaghi is absolutely unbelievable. Lautaro Martinez had one of the best goals I've seen for him. He has finally done it on the big stages. Marcus Thuram is a tank. Nicola Barella is one of the best midfielders in the world. If this guy was in England, he would be worth about 150 to 200 million. Barella, he was absolutely phenomenal. I think my team is too strong for the majority of the teams in this Premier League, in this Champions League tactically. That's what people misunderstand. Tactically, Inzaghi is so superior in terms of setting up the team because he can play both aspects of the game. He can attack. The only one that is similar to him in that aspect is Mikel Arteta, who can win a game with 30% position and he can win a game with 60. Inzaghi is similar. Vincent Kompany is still young. He didn't know. Vincent Kompany won one. He still attacked with 8 players at his ground and he just got beat right away. And it's actually crazy that, a coincidence that Inter beat Bayern Munich 2-1 yesterday. Same exact celebration in the 88th minute, 2-1. It's very similar to 88th minute Goran Pandev in 2011. Exact same place, exact same celebration taken off the shirt. It's not a coincidence. And I said before that Bayern...
Last time you were really good, Mo. I'm very proud. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Then you won 9 in a row, chat.
Juve is our bitch. That's the Bayern is our bitch, to be honest. Bayern really, bro. 2010, they come to 2011. They beat us in our stadium. We go to their stadium in one of the strongest Bayern teams ever, and we still win there. And this team, they have injuries and everything, but they are playing at their stadium. The stadium was rocking, and we still Inter were very composed.
It was very good. It was annoying that I know they have to do it, but it was so annoying they were on the same night because I really wanted to watch that game, mainly because Harry Kane's there, and I want to see how he does. And I thought he fluffed these lines, but the crowd was up. They didn't play badly either, Bayern Munich. They didn't. This is the thing. They didn't have. This is it. Moment.
I was thinking about it yesterday. There is one player yesterday that is a shame that he doesn't play in the Premier League, but also it's a good thing for him. Michael Olise had a world-class game. He was ridiculously good. And I was thinking, when I was watching the game, I was thinking, if Michael Olise signed for Chelsea, would have been the same? Would he have been the same as playing for one of the biggest teams in Europe? Yeah, but would he have been better than this? Would he have played the same level?
Bayern have better teammates.
And Bayern have a better stature as a football club,
Yeah, of course.
And I think the confidence they gave him, and I was thinking that Chelsea couldn't sign him, and I was thinking about it. He was, guys, he's unplayable, Michael Olise. I know he's half English, half French, and he chose France to play for.
Yeah, no, it's very true. Terry, remember you had a show. People were disrespectful towards Thomas Muller. He came on and scored. Yeah, look, we were actually
one of the most underrated players ever.
Yeah, phenomenal ability, output, consistency, trophies, absolutely everything you need, and pivotal in winning them too. Ancelotti is gone at the end of the season. Trades are leaking it. Alonso in. Yeah, I've seen a lot of those stories. I think Alonso's going to go. Alonso's going in. Yeah, 110.
He'd have gone anyway, even if they won the UCL. He'd have gone.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. Look, I want to thank every single person who's tuned into the show today. We're going to be back live tonight after PSV take on Aston Villa in the Champions League.
Come on, Villa.
Yeah, I want Villa to go for it. I mean, Arsenal still got to get the job done, but I want a Villa-Arsenal semi, man. That is just the story, the Unai Emery story. It's just great for socials, man. But Potsy, congrats on going through. Mo and Husam, always a pleasure, gentlemen, to sit and speak football with you. LB was on with us earlier as well. Hit the like and the share button before you go. Get that done before you leave. Until next time, everybody, thank you. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Peace.